Searching for MRC items in the library catalog is pretty simple once you know how to search for items in Film Finder. There are a few important differences between Film Finder and the library catalog that you will need to remember. First, the library catalog searches for items in any of the libraries on campus, not just in the MRC collection. Second, the library catalog will search for any and all material types held in any library, not just the 6 film formats that Film Finder searches for. This means that any search you do in the library catalog will not automatically be as specific as a search you perform in Film Finder, but your results will often be more comprehensive, and you can use the library catalog to search for MRC formats other than films, such as audiobooks, CDs, language learning kits, screenplays, etc. The most important thing to know about the library catalog is that its search results can often be more comprehensive and accurate than those produced by Film Finder. It may be slightly more complicated to use, but you need to make sure you know how to use the library catalog just as well as Film Finder. If a search returns no results in Film Finder, you should always do that same search in the library catalog, just to verify that we don't actually have that item in our collection. It is imperative that we do everything we can to make sure that we are connecting patrons with the materials they need if we have access to them or know where they may be able to find them. You can access the library catalog from the UNC Library homepage by clicking on the catalog link. You can also access the catalog from any library page by hovering over the Search and Find heading on the top banner and selecting Catalog from the drop-down list. You are now ready to start your search. You'll see the main search bar at the top of the page, but to do a more effective search for films, we first need to limit our search. On the left side of the page, there are a variety of ways to limit your search, including availability, library location, resource type, call number, language, and new titles. It is counterintuitive, but do not select Media Resources Center in the library location list, because that will not include streaming videos in your search. Instead, scroll down until you get to the resource type box and select Video. This will ensure that your search includes results for both physical and streaming films. Unfortunately, your results will also include non-MRC videos. Once you select Video, you will have new options for limiting your search. You can use the Physical Media tab to select only DVDs, Blu-rays, or online streaming videos, if desired. Next, scroll back to the top of the page. Under the All Fields drop-down menu, select Title. Type the title in the search bar and hit Enter. If you don't know a specific title to search for, leave the All Fields option in place because it is essentially a keyword search. Now, let's look at a specific example. If a patron is looking for a copy of Space Jam on DVD, first narrow the search to Video. Next, change the All Fields drop-down to Title. Type in Space Jam and hit Enter. You will quickly see that we have 2 copies of Space Jam on VHS, one on-site at the MRC and one located at our off-site remote storage facility known as the LSC. Because this search is not limited to MRC items, you can see that the North Carolina collection in Wilson Library also holds a copy of this movie on VHS. Below this, you'll see that we also have 2 copies of Space Jam on DVD, one that is available for patrons to check out, and one that must be watched in the MRC. Each copy is a 2-disc set, meaning it has 2 parts, which you can see listed in the catalog as Part 1 and Part 2. Assuming there is a copy listed as available in the catalog, you can take the call number and go retrieve the copy from the stacks to check out to the patron. If you want to view a more detailed record of the film, click on the blue title link and scroll through the full record. You can do this search in a slightly alternative way by limiting your parameters more before searching for the actual title. In this case, you would start your search by narrowing the resource type to video, then selecting DVD under the physical media heading. Now, change the All Fields drop-down to Title and search for Space Jam. The only result found from this search is the record for our 2 DVD copies of this film. You will have to use the library catalog to search for MRC items other than films, because you cannot search for these items in Film Finder. For example, if a patron is looking for the soundtrack for the film Grosse Pointe Blank, you can change the All Fields drop-down to Title, type Grosse Pointe Blank into the search bar, and hit Enter. In this case, you can quickly see that we have the soundtrack on CD, but you could also narrow the resource type to music recording to further narrow your results. Looking at the record, please note that both copies of this soundtrack CD are located in remote storage, not on site at the MRC, and would need to be paged for the patron. We can usually get these items to the MRC within a day or two. Two important locations listed in the library catalog's location dropdown are Media Resources Center audiobooks and Media Resources Center language learning kits. These 2 locations are helpful for narrowing down searches in which a patron is specifically looking for one of these material types. For example, if a patron is interested in finding out if we have Game of Thrones on audiobook, you can type Game of Thrones into the title field and hit Search. You can then narrow your results by selecting Media Resources Center audiobooks under the location dropdown. This quickly takes you to the one correct record where you can find out what the call number is and whether or not the item is available. Similarly, for MRC language learning kits, if a patron wanted to learn French, you could type French into the All Fields search bar and then select Media Resources Center language learning kits as the location. The search results would show the 12 language learning kits we have in our collection related to learning French. One final thing to be aware of is the option to toggle your search between items held only at UNC and those found at the 4 institutions included in our small lending consortium known as the Triangle Research Library Network, or TRLN. This consortium includes UNC, Duke, NC State, and NC Central. You can expand your search at many stages to see what items are held at all 4 institutions by clicking on the image with the 4 overlapping triangles that is labeled UNC, Duke, NC State, NCCU libraries. If a patron is interested in a film held at one of the other universities, they may be able to request it through the MRC or go to that institution to check out the film. Ask a supervisor for help if this situation arises while you are assisting a patron. In summary, the library catalog is another way to search for items in the MRC collection. The catalog searches for items in the entire library collection, but you can narrow down your search by selecting various limiting factors. Searching for items in the library catalog can be slightly more difficult, but your results are often more comprehensive than searching for items in Film Finder. The best way to learn how to use the library catalog and to feel comfortable doing so is to practice searching for items. Try looking for different titles and formats. Search for films about different subjects and in different languages, and see what kind of results you find. And most importantly, if you have any questions at any time, please don't hesitate to come ask one of your supervisors.